गरेर 9 एउटा बुम, एउटा नोभा स्पोर्ट्स, एउटा
try to be able to get in a position to camp some of these teams on their way in. And we're starting to see that happen. We see Falcons already, you know, trying to get up and going and leaving boot camp as soon as possible because they know they got to get to that northern circle pretty quickly here. Now, we do have some teams all the way on the south side. They're going to have to make that rotation on up. And you can see them just being very patient right now. Nobody wants to go out first.
Yeah, I think it would sting a little bit being the first team to get their ticket punched, and I mean, definitely going to try and play it for the long game. So I'm curious to see if anyone's going to potentially try and maybe rotate up towards those northern sides. I mean, looking at Gizmo that we have all the way on that far western edge, they've got pretty decent access at least to the immediate bridge, and then maybe rotation up into Cow.
Okay, well, let's see what the play is going to be. We're starting to see just some teams trying to get some intel here. Falcons are going to go ahead and drive on away, and it looks like they're going to be able to make that rotation safe. So no worries on their end, as this is definitely that calm before the storm. I do like seeing this kind of gameplay because every single time we get to a global stage, this is the place to look at. So there's teams, players from all around the world just glued to their screens right now, trying to learn from some of these guys here, because this is truly the best of the best going at it.
And I also like the fact that we have such a strong Brazilian presence here. I mean, yeah, sure, it is happening in Brazil, but still just looking at, you know, as you've said, players from around the globe participating in it. And I think this is also a good opportunity for a few of these teams really to kind of measure themselves against a team like the Falcons, for instance, right? To see how they'd be able to cope, and, you know, maybe they could learn a few strats along the way as well.
Yeah, you know, Brazil is looking to finally put that belt around them, right? That global championship belt. And, you know, they've been able to secure so many different positions and top placements in almost every single region. But that PMGC is where it can get just harder and harder as we're looking at the first battle here. Moneymakers on the push. Insanity Esports on the defend. A nice thirst there. Here comes Silence, trying to get the second knock. Barely misses it.
Oh, no. Moneymakers quickly just trying to patch themselves up. Talent, though, getting picked up. Beautiful S12K hit. Up comes Biscay. Risky play, and that is a clean wipe, though.
Wow. That is the first squad wipe here for our first global event of the year. And it's going to be Moneymakers. You were talking about this team earlier. They do lose one, but heck, picking up 4 points at the start, can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, it's going to feel pretty nice at this point. So it does set the standard or the bar, at least to some extent. But of course, you still got to look what's happening over on towards this western side of the zone as well. And this is where we've got a nice little bit of a lineup, right? We've got Gizmo slowly just creeping their way on forward. And as you can see, Bro trying to see if there's maybe a bit of opportunity across into the compound.
100%. So you can see them on the move a little bit. Every single team saw that finish there. So we're down to 15 teams looking to continue on here. I like the fact that we did see that battle early, because Sandhawk is one of those matches that's just so unpredictable, right? The zones move so quickly, and if you just get in the wrong position, no matter how good you are, there's nothing you could do. I mean, it's so difficult to run in the open against, you know, 16 teams in front of you just blazing shots. So, you know, I think the fact that you could just really hustle and try to get those early eliminations
go south really fast on this game, so you got to try and bring up as much as you can. I mean, even looking at Insanity Esports, at least they went out with a point, right? They got that elim, so it counts. They're not going to be sitting with a donut or a bubble on that leaderboard, and now hopefully they can bounce back in the remaining matches of today. But first up is going to be down to where this next phase is going to be taking us.
Yes, so let's see where it's going to go here. As we're now in stage 2. Zone will be closing in 1 minute. Invictus team looking to get on the move here. Trying to press up really close on the top. This is in Cow. And let's see. Oh, the DBSs are out. Locked and loaded. 7 with a nice little shot there. Ooh, gets popped in return. Trying to get this initial first knock, and he gets it.
Ooh, wow. That was a quick response coming through, but Inco not exactly out of the woods just yet. Still have quite a bit of work to do. Here we go. Better now. Trying to knock on the door, trying to see if they can find the opening. But for Nene, this is a very risky play. Though super low on the HP, but Nunez comes in clutch.
Beautifully done there. And we're going to see Martinez try to be able to throw that nade off. Doesn't get it in time. His whole team's down. I think he's going to try and make a play here. He's in a 1v1 situation. He goes for the push, trying to get those pre-fires with that DBS. Oh, great play from Inco, realizing, hey, we got one isolated player. Let's not try to get into a 1v1, but they do it anyway. And they lose a player pretty needlessly, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good play coming through from Vitali. Just closing that one up, of course, securing their second Elam. But as you've said, yes, they did lose a player in exchange. Sometimes you just got to pay the toll, I guess.
I don't know about that one because, you know, I think Inco did a great player because we saw a potential 1v1 happening, and that player instantly realized, like, hey, there's only one left. Let me just back off. We'll all push together, and we'll get him 4v1. But maybe there was a little miscommunication as, you know, they end up having one player go in anyway, and they lose him right there. But you know what? They still got the squad wipe, so good for them. As we're seeing the Edge of Paradise Resort get finished out. Man, a lot of teams are going out here early.
I mean, it's called Paradise for a reason. So, yeah, there's still, I think, a little bit of that sweaty play that's going to be cooking down in towards that southern side. But speaking about the south floor, I mean, we've got the players here from Roeg also trying to pick up a little bit of the trade, going up against the Zebra Masters. Ooh, Atsu getting taken right on down. Let's see whether or not Zebra can line this one up. Maybe even get a quick finish on Roeg.
Who is the bank open? Looks like it is. Oh, actually it isn't. Okay, so it doesn't get that finish, but goes and gets that knock there. And oh man, it's so difficult to be inside the building in this position because you know you're gonna get so much utility thrown at you. It's really, really tough. So Zebra Master definitely have the edge here, but they don't want to take too long. The longer this fight goes on, the bigger chance a third party's coming.
Yeah, now it's going to be the opportunity to push, and I'm pretty sure that Roeg is expecting that kind of play to come through from the Zebra Master. So I like the spread, a little bit of the awareness coming through here.
Ooh,
Tsegnov, good nade. But now, are they going to be able to find that last bit? I mean, looking at Zebra, right? They just chilling. They just taking their time.
Yeah, they're taking their time here, but they're out in the open and not in a very safe spot. They're luckily that they're so far on that edge that with this zone shift though, it can get hit, it can get dangerous. So I think if you're Zebra, yeah, you can see them on the move, looking to finish this out sooner than later.
Well, now it's all still down to the final push, though. I mean, we also did see the Death Wolves getting sent away. Oh, come on. Come on. It's so close. Oh.
Right. Oh, he gets one. He might get the thirst. He does.
Oh,
and we're seeing this happen quite a bit, DK, right? Where we see a player pretty much all done and looks done for, but is able to steal a quick elimination before he goes out.
I mean, it's all about timing, right? You might get the first initial few shots, but if you find yourself in a slightly vulnerable position going up against these teams, I mean, you know what's coming your way.
For sure. I think that once these teams are fully like warmed up, you know, we're not going to see those mistakes where players are getting lost like that. But, you know, the problem is that you only have 6 matches today, right? And it's going to decide whether you keep on going towards that big prize pool or you go home. And that is not what a lot of these players have worked so hard for here, as we are seeing Bold in a pretty good position here on the edge of the map.
Yeah, I mean, quite some distance out into the blue, but I mean, it's still stage 3, so the blue's not going to hurt all that much just yet. But they do have, of course, the players there from Hurrah just positioned up ahead. Faction Brazil, though, they're going to be camping out these compounds. Great opportunity up onto its Gizmo. Let's see, is the follow-through going to be there? Hoping for just one of those pixels to be out of place.
I think if you're Gizmo, you do not want to open up this opportunity for a knock. I think play it safely, try to get some angles. Ooh, that peek was so dangerous. It's just not worth it at this point. They're on the edge of the circle. You know they're coming anyway, so I think just suppress the fire, wait for that zone to come on over, and you'll be good to go. And look at this. Falcons on the buildings in a excellent spot. They have so much vision, and they are just trying to lay down the law here in the first map.
I think they saw the hashtag, you know, go beyond the top, and that's why they got themselves on the roof, trying to see just how far they can actually take it. But in the meanwhile, we do have a few of those casualties now starting to line it up. Gotta say, Faction Brazil, though, still looking nice and steady. Not such a big fight over on towards the edge of the zone here, but I think there's a lot of ground for them to try and make up here.
Yeah, let's see how they decide to do it here. Is this stage 3? can definitely start to spice things up. Stage 4, though, is where it's just an all-out war. Ooh, okay, there we go. I'm just almost talking about Gizmo just leaving themselves out a little bit too open. In this kind of position, a team like Faction Brazil is desperate, right? They need that knock to be able to get, a shot open here. So if you're Gizmo, you have to be extra careful. Just let the zone play it out. But getting that one-player knock is going to make things difficult. As we head on back over to Paradise, though, we see Intense Game looking to do some gatekeeping, but no. Well, this next zone, they should still be in, so they can definitely wait a little bit.
And I think that's part of the process, working your way through Paradise. There's so many nooks and crannies to just hide in and gatekeep teams as they start pushing forward. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure now, especially looking at the players from Gizmo and, of course, Faction Brazil. They have to try and find a way forward. For Gizmo, the big threat is going to come through from Falcons, just lurking on the edge of that zone.
You can see Faction Brazil. Yeah, they were able to make it out alive, and they're going to start trying to creep through Paradise here. And it looks like they do have a little bit of an angle to sneak their way in. Meanwhile, Zebra Master down to 2. They do have 4 eliminations, so that's going to help a little bit. But they know that's not going to be enough, because at the end of the day, we're looking for that first place team. Because if you are first place at the end of the day, you're going to get an automatic golden ticket to the finals. And with the rosters that are going to be coming up here, that is what I want. I do not even want to deal with the prelims at all, because it's going to be all-out war.
I mean, unfortunately, we have to see what the prelims have in store for us, right? We are going to be adding even more amazing teams into the mix. But, yeah, the stakes are going to be pretty high for whoever makes it through. But for now, it seems like we have a little bit of that silence now creeping up into Sanok. I mean, good play coming through here from Faction, slowly just pushing in, clearing compound by compound as they push up, maybe even getting a little bit of that parkour action going here. But this could be a golden opportunity onto Hi-Fi's now.
Yeah, you can see them set up for the gatekeep. They're very spread out, though, not in really good positions to support each other. So that's going to be tough. They got to play this carefully. That's why you see them kind of playing very kind of hidden positions where they could leave, but not in the spots where they're at, they can't get knocked at all. Yeah, I like that from Dream. He realizes that, you know what, it's just not worth it. Yep, almost gets shot in the back and leaves perfectly on time. Great instincts. So we might see another player get knocked, and he does. And this is what I was talking about. Oh, actually, great support through the wall. Smokey with a perfect shot.
I mean, you gotta love the plays, though. Monkey just on the point with that play. Now it's up to SnowX and Dream to see if they can survive. Well, they do find yet another pickup, and now this is where Faction Brazil is going to be feeding all that pressure, right? It's going to be a 2v4. Scratch that. It's going to be 8 elims going straight to the Hi-Fi's.
Wow, Hi-Fi's doing a great job of putting control there in Paradise Resort. They really collapsed on Faction Brazil. They got that one knock, but weren't able to make it happen. So some excellent knocks here from Hi-Fi's as the next zone does go on up here, and they are going to have to leave Paradise.
Gotta give it up. Gotta give it up, but not before going through quite an intense fight, right? You can see Zeus. Ooh.
Nice shot.
Quick pickup, though.
Man, Hi-Fi's so good with those return knocks instantly. And where's the rest of Intense Game? Yeah, they're going to have to come and collapse and take this team out. Good thing for Hi-Fi's, though, these guys are warmed up and ready to go with 8 eliminations, as they're trying to sneak some shots through those elephant legs there, but not able to find the angles. So looks like, man, Hi-Fi's doing a great job here, getting those knocks, returns, pickups quickly. And Intense Game doesn't seem to have that same level of synergy, because these guys are still spread out. They're going to lose a player now.
Ooh. Let's see whether or not there is maybe a little bit of hope here now left for Hi-Fi's. I mean, starting to move, they don't have all that much choice, really, because as we can see, the zone is going to be closing up in less than a minute, but I think there's even more pressure getting added on, right? Falcons, they're getting closer. Zebra Master, they're getting closer. So whatever Hi-Fi's are going to look to do, they really need to get to it right now.
Oh my gosh, Rafa needs to get it done here, but you're so right, as we see Falcons putting so much pressure onto Intense Game, getting a bunch of knocks from their backs. And now it's just Rafa. Oh, that nade should do it, though. Oh, it's a stun! He hits a headshot with the DDS some way, somehow. but it is not enough as High Fives are continuing to steamroll players here on the edge. Definitely opting for those eliminations. Oh, I wonder if we're going to see a player pick up and, throw them on your shoulders and run into this circle because somehow this team still has everyone up.
Wow. I mean, this is a fight that I've been wanting to see. Moneymakers going up against Team Falcons. Both teams now fighting for possession of at least that western edge, but the zone is going to move up. So this is going to force, well, the Moneymakers to make a very difficult choice. They have to move in. Oh, but Biscay taking so many hits now to the face. It's going to be up to top to try and close it up. And there it is. Falcons swoop in for yet more eliminations.
I mean, these guys are ridiculous. I mean, look at the confidence, right? Literally running out in the open, even though we see one of the players from Moneymakers has the cover with the rock, it doesn't matter. Top realizes, hey, we have to finish this here and now. We got to clear this side out. I don't care. I'm running out in the open and getting it done. That's exactly as what happens. We see smoke now on the defense here. DBS are out in that close quarters combat. They're running a 2-1 split. 2 in the front, 1 in the back, and it did not work out as their remaining player is going to have to try to just hide replacement.
Well, they're getting smoked, right? That's what happens. So we're right there. Yeah, we're going to say goodbye to Sky pretty soon. Now it's up to No Fear, and I think this is where they really got to prove their worth, right? The name suggests that we are going to be seeing some pretty insane plays, but that is yet to be seen. Meanwhile, it's still going to be down towards the southern side, right? Zebra, and of course, then the players from the High Fives now looking to score even more points.
Yes, they are. As now we are reaching the top 4 here for the first game of the PUBG Mobile Global Open Brazil. So much is on the line. Only 1 day of play. For anybody that's just tuning in, it's only 6 matches. This is match number 1. High Fives have been just dominating this match so far. 10 eliminations to their name and still have their entire squad up. Now they're going to start the push again. And look at this. They have the numbers here. They got that DBS out. Now it's all about just execution. One well-placed nade from the other team could wreak disaster. And they get the circle here. So they got to get this finished out quick.
I mean, it's now or never, right? They're going to try and just lock it up. But, of course, the Falcons are going to come knocking on the door. At least for the time being, Falcons taking a very wide spread, trying to cover as many different angles as they do ascend down onto the zone. But this is where the pressure comes for a team like Zebra Master as well as the High Fives. But, I mean, Smokin', they just chilling up on the north. They also still have to relocate.
Okay, I think that now High Fives need to just turtle it up. I think they need to look at Zebra Master and say, hey guys, we got the Falcons on this side. We need to worry about them and we'll deal with each other later at this point. But they're starting to get pushed as well. This could be perfect opportunity for Team Falcons to start this push because look at this, High Fives having an absolute all-out war and the Falcons are just watching this smiling as just chaos is happening inside these buildings. High Fives are hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult to contest the amount of elims that they've already been able to secure so far, but it does seem like Zebra Master are going to go do a little bit of cleanup in aisle 4 as they now make their way through the compounds, looking for a few cheeky pickups, but Falcons still winging it, still holding on to the edge of zone, and they're not going to relent whatsoever.
Oh my gosh, I was about to say, speaking of cleanups, Team Falcons are licking their beaks right now, just ready to pick at these Zebra Masters. They have a full squad spread out. Hey, don't count out Monkey though, right? They're on that edge. I mean, he's dangerous. If Team Falcons, I don't think realize that he's in that position at all. I think they think the entire squad is in there. You can see them checking just to be sure, but if they run out in the open, Monkey could definitely come out from that off angle and disrupt them big time. So they got to play this carefully. Ooh, great nade though. That hurt.
Hi, Sandy.
Yeah, that's a very uncomfortable tickle that's come through on that one. But now, of course, Icy still trying to do the due diligence here, just trying to smoke it up.
Does he know he's there?
Not yet. Not yet. No, Zed also just gonna be
got
looking.
him.
Ooh, come on.
They have to know he's there. Yeah, they have to know. If not, then they got that fifth sense going. You can see them starting to push out now. Oh, he does go down. So that's High Fives out. Here we go. Top 2 teams. Falcons do go down, though. It's a 2v1 out in the open. He's going to have to hit some crazy shots. But guess who's on top, baby? It's Team Falcons winning the first match of the day. The most hyped squad coming into this. Second place in the Global Championships. They're on that new roster and ready to go beyond the top here.
I just gotta ask you one thing, right? What sound does a falcon make?
Or it's actually not Gaga. It's more like whatever, right? But you know what? I'll tell you what. Whatever sound, every single team in the lobby heard it. Because I mean, it's just so crazy that not only do they win the first game, but it's on Sandhawk, which is not even necessarily like their most crazy map, right? So for them to start off with not just a chicken dinner, but a 14 elimination chicken dinner. Oof. I mean, these other teams are gonna pretty much have to rally together to take these guys down at this point.
Yeah. I mean, talk about marking your territory, right? That is exactly what the Falcons did. They just threw feathers all over the place. They claimed the spot, right? They said Sandhawk is ours for the taking. And it's no surprise, really, to see them perform like this, right? We did see them back in PMGC also performing exceptionally well when it came to the map of Sandhawk. So, yeah, I'm super excited as for the outcome of this game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see these next 5 games coming up because, like I said earlier, there's no real difference between 2nd and 8th place, right? You want to definitely make it into top 8 so you could guarantee your spot in the future towards the prelims, right? But that first place gets you that direct invite to the finals. So it's going to be interesting to see because these teams know, right, where Team Falcons like to go. And it's going to be interesting to see where they opt to really put themselves. But you know what, guys? We're going to be right back after this short break. Don't go nowhere. And we're back here as we got the highlights so we can see how this game went down. And you can see the Money Makers getting some great shots. It was beautifully done. And man, I'll tell you what, this Falcon squad, they are ready, locked, and ready to go.
Yeah, but I gotta say, this was a really good start, though. First match of the day, everybody turning up with the aggression. We did see so much carnage coming through here. And I mean, you said it before, right? Good warm-up, teams really getting those fingers all nimble and ready to rumble. So, yeah, expecting some pretty intense gameplay to come further as we progress onwards. But Hi-Fi's really good possession that they had up in Paradise.
Oh, yes, they did, dude. The Real Me highlights really showing what they can get done, especially against intense game. It's so crazy to see them last all the way to the end as a 4-man squad. Yeah, they got taken out, but that's because they were in the most dominant position, just getting shot from every single way. So I think they definitely need to hold their heads up high and just get ready to start some good old Aaron Gales coming up soon.
I mean, we've got a heavy dose of Erangel coming through here today. 3 matches back to back. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity to bring in quite a bit of change.
Oh, yes, indeed. So you can see here the damage that was done. Oh, my goodness. 2,500 damage, 14 eliminations. Hi-Fi's were definitely working for it. They got that dozen, which is a great game, right? And the way that this format is, I can't stress it enough, right? It's all about first place, so they could definitely not let off the pedal at all coming up.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure is definitely going to be on. So good starting play here for the Falcons. I mean, Hi-Fi's, as you said, but also then we look at Moneymakers, right? Securing themselves those 8 eliminations. Zebra Master also bringing in a really strong presence here, securing themselves those 7 eliminations. And I love these damage counters. They are so steep. I mean, 4 teams hitting in excess of 1,000 damage. So that already speaks a lot to the aggression that we've seen out on the battlefield.
Yes, sir, indeed. It's time to go ahead and see who is going to be that actually the match rankings here. Let's take a look here as it is going to be Hi-Fi's in 2nd place with 17 total points. And it's going to be Team Falcons on top with 24. So I was kind of alluding to it a little bit earlier, DK, is the fact that, you know, since first place is so desperate, teams are going to know where the Falcons land. So I wonder if at a certain point, a bigger stress for multiple squads are going to be to try to take them out. So that way they can still have a chance for that golden ticket. What do you think? Because they're now, I mean, in my opinion, there's a big target on their back.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with you on that one. I mean, especially being a team like Falcons, as you've said, right? They are a well-known team. There's so much footage at looking at how they play, where they drop. So there's a golden opportunity for teams to try and contest them. But I think Falcons, they also up for the challenge, right? They just sitting around and, you know, almost like begging the teams, like, I dare you, push me. I want some free elims.
For sure. And honestly, I think, you know, even trying to get into a fight earlier on can be dangerous because they're just so good. but maybe just trying to land near where they land, try to take them out on their rotation. I know a lot of these teams did their homework, anything to disrupt them. And if you could do that earlier on, right? Let's say if you just go into this first Aaron Gale, you know where they drop, you camp their rotation and make them second guess themselves, right? That could disrupt them for the next 2 matches. So I'm interested to see if that will happen. But, you know, at the same time, when you have so much pressure, only 5 matches left, I wouldn't be surprised if we see every team just kind of stick to what they know.
But I think at least having a triple Erangel lineup is going to provide a golden chance for teams to kind of rectify whatever didn't go exactly according to plan, either in match number 1 or the first Erangel. So there's going to be several opportunities. As we know, of course, the zones are going to go in different places, but I think Erangel will definitely be the map in which we see the teams really start to lay a super solid foundation moving through for the rest of the day.
100%. You can see here the MVP, of course, it's going to be none other than Team Falcon Zed, getting it done there. 6 eliminations, only 53 healing. So, man, this guy was just running around having fun at this point as you look at his highlights. Crazy shots here. Just coming up on, I mean, he just was chilling. And that's the crazy part is we saw like Hi-Fi's just having to push every single squad. And Team Falcons were just in the perfect position, just taking down point after point after point.
I mean, it's going to be pretty tough competition, right? Sanok now done, dusted. Now it's time for a little bit of the bread and butter, right, that we are going to be taking a look at. And I'm curious to see whether, as you suggested, right, teams are maybe going to try and, test their luck when it comes to the Falcons. Maybe we could see an early game disruption happening.
I want to, because honestly, I'm so tired of seeing teams just kind of stick to that, same level of play, constantly just doing the same thing over and over. When you know what's at stake, you have to be able to adapt, in my opinion, right? Because you know that, hey, if we get top 8, that's great. But we need first place. So if we could do anything we could do to get that little extra edge or make that even a possibility, that would be huge. That would be huge. But you know what, guys? Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back, everybody. Here we go, getting ready for match number 2, and we're headed into Erangel. What you said earlier, right? It's the bread and butter of this game. So we're gonna really see who deserves that first place spot. But like I said, I want to see things get mixed up a little bit. It's only one day, you know. There's not a difference in prize pool between 2nd and 8th. It's all about just qualifying, right? The only prize pools given is to those players that don't make it, and that's not a prize pool you want. You want to get that big boy money coming up here soon. So hopefully we see some teams mix it up here soon.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to go for the consolation prize. You want to go for the big one. So, yeah, also got to give a big shout out for the Realme 12 Pro. It elevates your photography experience with the 120x super zoom and performance in games.
There we go.
How to be a portrait master.
Make it real, baby. Make it real and get ready to go as we get into match number 2. Here we go. We can start seeing these teams start to head on out. So we're going to see 3 of these today and a couple Miramars to finish it off. So you know what? I will say this. I think that teams should definitely go for their tried and true here and now. I think if you're feeling a little bit spicy, maybe try to camp the Falcons rotation. Maybe if you're nearby. You know what I'm saying? But I think right now you just try to get those consistent points, get a feel for what everything's going on. If the Falcons do well in this game, I think that you're going to have to try and stop them sooner than later.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. It's going to be your cue, right? I mean, if you've ever wondered when would be the right time to step up, yeah, it would be, especially after the Falcons, if they have a good game here. Speaking about good game, though, Insanity happening right here in the early game. First Elam already secured. You can see Marlon not wasting a single moment. Surprising enough, though, the zone actually relatively spread out. Sure, there is a little bit of contention over here up in towards Rozhok, but looking at the rest of the spread, I mean, the team's pretty well situated.
Yes, they are. So let's see exactly. Well, we're going to start seeing some knocks already, and that's going to be all of the hi-fi. So this is going to be up in Rozhok here. Let's see how they opt to play this one. Silent is stuck at that tree. Like he's going to try to get this nade off. If he gets it, it'll be huge. And it does come on in, taps him up a little bit. That is going to allow him to be able to push up to this building. And here we go. It is a 2v2, extremely undiluted. This is really tough fight here. He's going to have to hit all these shots. One shotgun blast and he's gone.
Ooh. But I think this is a super important play, though, for Insanity, right? They had a little bit of a bumpy start over on Sanok, so this is the opportunity. Ooh.
I was
trying
about
to claim.
I saw that push and I just like, I closed my eyes for a second and I started, you know, saying goodbye, because I saw that shotgun. There's not much you can do when you don't have a vest like that. So yeah, I like the fact that, you know, Insanity are staying true to their name. They're just like pushing, playing aggressive. But this is going to be 2 games back to back where you go out really early. So I think after this, you definitely got to have to calm things down a little bit and put some points on the board.
Well, and I mean, they are going up against a pretty aggressive team, as we saw in Sanok, right? Hi-Fi is coming through with those 12 Elams, so they've already set quite a bit of a standard for themselves. Insanity, pretty much on par with what we had over on Sanok, but now, are they going to be able to kind of wiggle themselves out of the situation, right? I want to see all of them just try and apply as much pressure as they can onto Dream and Monkey. Hopefully, they could secure themselves those Elams and even more playtime here.
Yeah, let's see what the plan is. They're definitely on the move, and you can see Dream. Trying to catch some angles. Yeah, Insanity with that knock. gonna be pretty huge here. They go for the push, and again, that pump shotgun.
Yeah.
Just destroying the dreams of Insanity for now. They're gonna have to get this knock though really quickly. He's gonna go for the open hardcore pre-fire. But high fives! That pump shotgun is just too deadly. Oh, little taste of your own medicine, huh? How's that feel?
Oh, I mean, the best response to a shotty is yet another shotty to come on through, but it's not over just yet. Oh, that is beautiful throw there from SnowX.
Whew, threaded the needle. That was beautiful indeed. So, a beautiful play. Unfortunately, gonna lose 2 in the process. I wonder if Inko is gonna push this. They could. They definitely could, but I think that this is always a difficult push because you know you're going wide in the open. You don't have a lot of intel. You know what's at stake. And it looks like it is only Vitaly here in this position. So, yeah, I think he's just going to hold it and try to see if he can sneak a shot off.
Well, it doesn't seem like the rest of Inko are going to be looking to reinforce just yet. We do see something on the horizon coming through from that southern side. So maybe Vitaly is just going to be waiting for reinforcements, a little bit of that backup before they look to apply the extra pressure.
Yeah, here they come and here they are. And if they were paying attention to the feed, which I know they are, there's going to be 2 players only left for high fives, and if they realize that, I will not be shocked if they push this. Honestly, they really need to, right? Any point that you can get is going to be huge. They know exactly where he is, especially on that back bunker. Yeah, here they come. Inko looking to take advantage of this play, and this is why we talk about trying to avoid those initial like head-on fights as much as you can, because if you lose a couple players, you're going to get third partied and taken out. And high fives, we saw them, right? Just a real scrappy team, able to kind of make it out of really tough situations. This one's looking really bad, and I think that's why we see SnowX already on the run.
Well, I mean, either on the run or a cheeky reposition, because looking at where SnowX is going, I think that could actually afford them quite an opportunity here, while Monkey, of course, is going to be looking to distract Inko as they push in, but now it's going to be go time. Monkey now has to bear all, as Inko, they just going to break down doors and rush on in.
You know what? I guarantee you, Monkey is telling him, I'm safe. Come to me. You know what I'm saying? Monkey's like, I'm safe, dude. Come here, help me out. I got him. You know, no, he's not. He's saying, run for your life, bro. Oh, no, he did say I got him. He did say it. He said, come on down. Oh, he gets knocked. He has to make it happen with a jump shot.
No.
Oh, and he gets another knock.
Dang.
So huge. 3 elimination. Oh, actually, no, Vitaly from the angle gets him down. Oh, but he does take a couple with him. Heck, I mean, that's the best case scenario, I think, when you know you're going to go out, right? At least get a couple points.
I mean, that was a beautiful strat, though. I'm not going to lie. I mean, high fives, they stepped it up. Beautiful off-angle play coming through there from SnowX, but Vitaly just taking it that extra little bit further. I mean, what a change-up that was. And, well, speaking about change-ups, we're going to be looking over onto Zebra Master to see if they can maybe bring something in here onto the side, of course, of the opponents, right? We've got even more players just hiding in the wings up ahead, and the pressure keeps on building. Faction Brazil, not going to be feeling any heat just yet.
No, they are not, but I'll tell you what, man, that was the play so far of the tournament. That 1v3 was beautiful. And if he was able to get that finish, it could have been, you know, it's solidified as the play of the tournament so far. But you know what? We'll see what happens next. High Fives did go out with 6 eliminations, so that's pretty good. You know, at least to make it into top 8. But that's not going to be good enough for first place, because we do see Team Falcon still alive and well. So we'll see what's going to happen here as we're looking at Faction Brazil right next to Pachinki, trying to just hold this position for now. Nice little central zone, so nothing too atypical. Very centralized here on the map. So no surprises here for these teams.
But this is where I think the position of Zebra Master might be a slightly better one than we've got here for Faction Brazil, because we've got all these high grounds surrounding Faction's current positioning. And I mean, if you look over onto Zebra, they can just peer in all the way from up on that church hill and just bring so much pressure into whoever's going to be looking to contest, especially coming in from this eastern side or western side.
Oh, nice little shift on over towards Gatka. That's going to be an interesting one there. So let's see, as the Ted's game are going to get pretty blessed in this position. This could be a good opportunity to put up some good points on the board. Meanwhile, the squad that we were looking at, Team Falcons, right, are all the way near Novo. So they're going to have to push on up. Meanwhile, Faction Brazil just waiting to see which teams are going to try to run out in the open. And that was going to be Zebra Master losing 2. That's going to be tough.
Well, it is going to be a pretty hairy play still to go. As you can see, men are also just hiding that vehicle away. But now, up comes the opportunity for Faction to maybe bring an end to Inco. As you can see, Vitali just rotating on up. But I think this is where we are going to be seeing quite a bit of heat now starting to be drawn up into the lovely Picard up ahead. But here we go. Faction, gotta watch these angles though.
Yeah, they gotta watch them, but they're pretty safe here, right? Slaughterhouse is such a great position to hold because, you know, you're surrounded pretty much by all open air. You can see any team pushing at you from any direction. That's why you see them a little bit split up. The only real weak spot is this barrage right here. So if that warehouse, if it does get pushed on, they're going to be in trouble. But if they're able to hold it down, I mean, it's a really, really solid position in this map. It's kind of hard to leave, though, if the zone does shift in the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's going to be one to see, though. I mean, we're still some ways away from our stage 3, so a lot can still happen in the meanwhile. As you can see, Gizmo is starting to spread out. Zebra also now trying to utilize as much of the available space. But looking over onto the players here from Royals of War, they're going to have a little bit of company knocking on their door potentially.
Yeah, right now they're just going to be holding down these blues, staring to the sky and hoping the zone comes to them. I mean, the great part about this place is that, you know, if the zone does shift in any direction, you have a pretty good rotational path to try and at least get there. So they're not in a bad spot yet, but they don't want to move unless they have to. As you can see, Be Bold just trying to find their best position here. A little bit late to this rotation. Actually, pretty late. They are way on the edge of the circle, so they are still rotating on in. And little do they know that they got the Falcons creeping up behind them. And this could be a strategy for the Falcons, just knowing that, hey, you know, we already got so many points in Sandhawk. We know what we're capable of. Right now, let's just be consistent. Put some points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with a little bit of that shock and awe play coming through. But I think a big challenge also then for Be Bold is going to be Ruch. That is going to be applying pressure from on the edge of that zone. You can see Ruch also now starting to push up a little further down towards that southern side. So it actually opens up a great rotational pathway now for the Falcons to get themselves established.
Yeah, let's see how they have to play it. Oh, and they get a pretty good solid zone for them too. So they don't really have to go too far. You can see them just trying to get healed up, prepare for their battle, playing it very, very cautiously here. And this is what the advantage of having such a strong first game really gives to you, right? You could just kind of just play it out, put some solid points on the board, and just continue to just hold on to that first place for the rest of the day.
But Jukes, then talking about holding on, right? I think for Smoke, also that southern hilltop that we just saw them on, that is also going to allow them quite a bit of a vantage point, especially looking at the sheer number of teams we have that are yet to rotate on forward. I mean, speaking of it, here we go. It is going to be Miyaki just packing in some heat.
You can see him there trying to hit that Car 98 shot out of the vehicle. And meanwhile, we got Myth popping him out. Indeed, you can see them trying to head to that little pipeline right there on the edge of the map, but they are just getting picked apart. And Team Falcons seem to always put themselves in the right place at the right time. Gonna go ahead and steal one of those eliminations right there. Actually, yes, or maybe they don't. No, they don't. So I thought they did end up getting that, but it was Smoke.
Yeah, they try to swoop in, but they just missed the play. Now it's going to be Miyaki
Got
up
him.
on the hill. Nice bolty shots raining in across the way. I see.
Lead him.
Ooh, this could be tricky. Come on.
Oh. Buff the bolt actions. Come on.
Yeah.
We need it. We need that bolt action buff because that would have been so hype if he got that knock there. Oh, goodness gracious. Meanwhile, you see Top and the Falcons go ahead and starting to take that pipeline position. Intense game. We're going to be spreading out right here just on the side of Gatka. These buildings are a very, very, very strong spot because if the zone heads towards Pachinki, you just head right up that hill, disrupt any team that's there. Let's see what happens, though. Where's that next circle going to go? Meanwhile, we do have quite a few teams, and it does look like Falcons, instead of going towards that pipe, are going to head into this outer edge of Pachinki.
Well, they're going to have to really try and blaze their way to get a good foothold moving in here. I mean, I got to say, I honestly like the zone centering up like this up onto Pachinki, but a quick little trade going on to Be Bold out in the open. Mikey definitely looking to pick up as many pieces as they can. And of course, now Falcons just welcoming Be Bold up into the zone. Absolute carnage. All the utilities now starting to fly on forward. But, I mean, looking at Falcons here, Jukes, they just chilling, right? Looking so confident on the edge there.
Yeah, unfortunately, they did lose 2 players, so that's going to be pretty tough. But at the same time, you know, they do have some major players still up, top being one of them. They are going to maybe even get this res off. So I thought that he was gone for sure, but he crawls his way up. Beautiful smoke wall there from Falcons, and they get a very favorable circle shift. So they don't have to move too far. That's going to definitely help them out big time. But all those teams, you can see them there on that northwestern side, are going to have to start pressing up against each other.
Yeah. I mean, talk about opportunities. I think Gizmo, they are just so primed for whatever the zone is going to be bringing to them. In the meanwhile, Death Wolves, though, knocking on the door, trying to get a beautiful play as they come in onto the players here from Invictus. But, yeah, Inko also going to get backed up. So many teams feeling the pressure, feeling the plays. And with that, we're down to only 12 now remaining. Invictus, I mean, what a quick sweep that was.
So fast, and that's perfect timing there. They definitely wanted to get that done quick, because you can look, there's only 6 seconds left on the clock, and they are still outside of this circle, so they're gonna have to push in here top, using Blue Zone to his advantage. I love this. He's gonna be throwing all that utility there, and he does get that knock. So just apply that pressure, let the Blue Zone do the work for you, but it's really up to him to gatekeep an entire squad. And they're gonna, if they come in one by one, they're not gonna stand a chance. They really have to work together here on this push.
Yeah, it's gonna be safety in numbers, at least to some extent, but now it's gonna be David.
Oh my goodness.
Getting picked up as well. So slowly, top just hacking away at the side here of Be Bold. I mean, talk about pretty tough position to play. Meanwhile, Moneymakers also going to be feeling the heat. As you can see, Icy taking quite a bit of damage here. Smoke Gaming trying to push in. They want those points on board. They do get yet another knock. And Moneymakers now down to a 2-piece.
Just so much pre-fire here. Smoke do end up losing another player. So here's a 2v1 position here on this edge. Myth might even go for the 1v1 though. He does have the high ground. We've got to be careful. Here come those crouch shots. That Buggy just doing such a great job of supporting him, and he does get that knock.
Ooh. I mean, that was an essential play, though. I mean, especially for the Moneymakers, they were relying on that survivability to happen right there. And unfortunately for them, I mean, Smoke Gaming, right? They just got them out of that hole and sent them right on back. In the meanwhile, looking up on towards the northwestern side of zone, it's going to be the Royals of War trying to get their way into this. But, I mean, I like this position here from Hurrah, right? Up in Headshot Hills. So many angles to try and play off of.
100%. That's what I love their position is, like, no matter where the zone goes, they're going to have a path on him, but they're definitely going to have to fight their way through it. And Royals of War, going for the run over. And it looks like they do end up getting it. And, the Wolves in screaming towards the sky right now as there's only one player left and he is done for. So great push there from Royals of War.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to get the rush in. Speaking of rushes, though, intense game. Now also going to try and capitalize on a golden opportunity, but instead it's going to be CeeLo to get taken on down. Zeus Boy, Rafa, and the rest of the crew. Really got to watch these angles. But will they be able to secure it in, though? I mean, Royals of War, they just absolutely pumping on the adrenaline. As you can see them now just moving all over the place, trying to get these angles secured. Who knows? I'm looking to see this fight now break up between the two.
Oh yeah, Tonka looking to drive that truck around and take out some more players, using it to just get some of that, some angles, get some information, trying to play it safe as possible. They are outside of this circle, so they know they have to rotate. But this is this is the hardest part of PUBG Mobile, is timing, right? You have to decide, when do we decide to push into this edge? Do we want to go early? Do we want to go late? And I don't blame them for trying to go late in this position. Intense game with a crazy rotation. Do end up finding a spot safely, pretty central in this circle. So that's going to work out for now. And then now, meanwhile, Gizmo going to have to make a play here on top. As Intense Game got their DBSs out and ready to take this building.
Well, they're gonna unpack all the gizmos they have in their bag. As you can see, bro, just trying to clear out that staircase. I mean, this is a tough play, though. Bro, they're gonna have to make some magic happen here, right? 1v3 up in the compound. The rest of the team just holding up on that hillside. Not quite sure whether or not we are gonna see Gizmo, well, have bro survive this position. In the meanwhile, everybody else still trying to get themselves secured as they move in. Up comes the push, though. Intense. I mean, slowly making progression up the way.
They're going to try to make a play here. Bro is going to come down and just keep disrupting them little by little. You saw him place that gas can right there by that door. So he placed the gas can right there near that for that door to blow it up in case they do try to push up again. Meanwhile, you got Zebra Master applying pressure to both of these teams. I think if you're Intense Game, honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even mind having Gizmo on that roof. Just have him on the roof. Just focus on everybody else. Deal with him if the zone shifts. Because right now, you got to worry about just every other player in the wake.
I mean, even Faction Brazil also now starting to get involved. They slowly tap across the way. Their teammate also, NTS, also trying to just make up for a bit of ground there. But Zebra Master now getting a play up on towards Zeus Boy. This could be that opening for Bro, but I'm not quite sure if they are aware of what is unfolding down below. Setting out the utilities. Frog going for the pickup. No change up, really.
Nothing change up. Yeah, this is going to be, it looks like some good old central gameplay here as we're right in the middle of Pachinki. I do love urban finishes because it just gets so intense here. We're going to see a lot of teams try to make plays. Wow, Miyaki making it happen there. That's going to be 3 eliminations for him. Team Falcon still up. 1 elimination so far, 3 players. And that's going to be on that other edge of Pachinki. Bro still up here trying to survive. And Rose of War now with 4. Putting some work in here. Oh, actually, but that is going to be them going out. And so we're going to see 9 teams remaining. And here comes the push from Intense Game. Bro, holding down this angle. Trying to make something happen. An Intense Game. Every time they push, they just lose a player. So it just gets delayed time and time again.
Yeah, but I mean, just looking at this whole position here, the rest of the Gizmo team, they're going to have a pretty tough time, I would say, defending if Intense were to maybe make up some ground here. But they still have a little bit of the safety barrier that is coming through from those shots there from Zebra. Of course, the rest of the Gizmo team are going to be focusing their way up on towards the north, now trying to halt any advances coming through here from Faction Brazil, potentially even the players there from Hura Esports. But still, nothing changing up here with Bro. Now it's going to be Intense, pushing up onto the roof. The play is there. The first trade is in.
Oh, my goodness.
2 down. Oh!
Got him, though. They end up taking him out from across the way. So Gizmo able to ruin Intense Game. And let's see. I think they're going to go and try to make that cross and pick him up. Here they come in that buggy. Full sending it. This is very risky. And it looks like he does get knocked in the process. And sometimes you just have to take the sacrifice, and unfortunately, it just became a little bit heavier.
Yeah, sometimes you risk it and you get no biscuit at the end. Now, of course, Ruch also still having to push through here, as they are going to be looking now to just inch their way through, sneaking up from that southern side of Pachinki. The rest of the team's pretty focused on all the carnage we've heard now, just erupting close towards Center Zone. But this is where I'm getting a little bit worried, though, looking at a team like Smoke, right? Exposed on the edge, and they still have the players from Be Bold yet to move in behind them.
Let's see what the play is going to be. As we see Miyaki. Oh, nice shots. Quick peek. That's going to be 8 eliminations for Smoke Gaming. Good one for them. And now we're going to see the Falcons. They've been creeping their way up ever so slowly, very sneakily, into this Pachinki position due to that zone shift. They do realize that if the zone keeps going in this direction, they're going to probably have to take that church up on top. But at the same time, they have to keep an eye on their back. So their ears are definitely perked and getting ready to go here as we are about to head into Stage 7. Still quite a few teams up here.
Yeah, a lot of teams, not a lot of action at the current moment. Icy, got a few nades in hand there. Maybe prepping for a little bit of a surprise play. As you can see, Top also just manning them ears. But Falcons, as you said, right, inching their way forward, coming through on this eastern side. Still a lot of opposition up ahead. Zebra Master, I mean, they've been just playing such an opportunistic position here. Every time they spot an opportunity, they get up, they lay the shots, they drop back down. So I'm curious to see whether or not anyone's going to be able to maybe just push them out of that building. But maybe the zone could have some other plans for them.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though. They only have 2 players up, only 1 elimination. So they do have a great position, but they don't really have the players to support it. So I think they're trying to play just very, very quietly here, just get some consistent points on the board, and then come back here for the next one, because these teams up on top are very, very well set up. Meanwhile, yeah, I mean, Hora's going to be one of them. You can see Top trying to get those shots. Oh, gets beat up quick, peek back, and survives a little bit longer. This next zone, perfect shift for all of these teams pretty much. So they don't got to move a muscle. It's just some more hurry up and wait.
Yeah, unless you part of the Hura team, right? You still have a little bit of ground to cover moving in from that northern side. And I think looking at the angle that they are taking to get in here, there's a few limited options, right? They're going to obviously try and play for that church position, as I think that would be a very wise call to make at this point. But looking at Faction Brazil, they're going to look to contest. Hugo from Gizmo definitely will not want them rushing up onto that position.
Hoorah indeed. Yeah, Gizmo, last player up. Unfortunately, if they would have just kept all 3 in this position, they would have been so set up. But you know, sometimes you got to take that bet. You know, you really want first place. You want your whole team. But that 2-2 split was going to be tough. And hopefully that's a lesson that you learn. You know, it's just unfortunate that it has to be learned here at the highest stage. And right now, Faction Brazil looking really good. Lots of angles, 3 players still alive. Looking to make things happen here. So, hoorah, they do have the most players up. The only team with 4. And they're going to start pushing here in a couple seconds on to Gizmo. Last player up is Hugo. If they're able to secure this church, they're going to be in a great position for the rest of this match.
100% agree with you on that. But, yeah, the pressure is now on for Hugo. Plays coming through. Hoorah, starting to do their due diligence. 1 nade could end it here for Gizmo. You can see Hugo about to get pushed. Up comes Sky. Oh, quick step. DBS in hand. This could be it. Oh.
Oh, wait, he got a double?
Wow.
No way. This is crazy. We're seeing this happen time and time again, where it's just 1 player up against a full team and they're putting in work. That just goes to show you the level that we're playing at, folks. You know, just because it's just 1 player up, you cannot slip. You know, because any team could just think, oh yeah, it's 1 player, go in 2v1. We'll cover the backside. You know? Ooh. No. Send the whole squad just in case. Because if they sent just those 2, both of them are gone. Thirsted instantly.
Yeah. No, that would have been the end right then and there. But speaking about the end, though, that zone shift pulling in favor of Zebra Master. I think Falcons, they are also going to be smiling from ear to ear, because now they know that Hoorah and the teams surrounding them will have to just creep their way even closer up in towards the zone. So I think Faction Brazil, Hoorah, they're going to be in for a very tough ride.
Yeah, you know, Team Falcon's always so dangerous. You can see Top up on top of the roofs. So he's in a really good position here. The only problem is that with Hoorah's spot right now, you know, if they got knocked, they're able to get the res. The problem is though, they can't get knocked right now because the zone is starting to creep up on them. They have to leave, and it's going to be tough. Yeah, they're going to have to do it with some vehicles. That is going to be the way, because they got to push down very rapidly, and they're most likely going to break into one of those buildings where the Falcons are. But if the Falcons are smart, they'll be ready to gatekeep little by little, and that's what they do. They apply that pressure. They don't let them push onto them, but to that little blue building right in front of them.
Yep, and I mean, they can just have their way with him all the way from here. You can see a beautiful nade here from Noze, just peeking in. Next one going up top, not quite finding anything at this point, but this is a great opener now coming through for the Falcons.
Oh yeah, they're going to stick this out. They're going to gatekeep this team until they're all done for. They realize they're the greatest threat. There's Top getting a huge nade elimination, and that's just picking off the squad with the most players up. And just like that, it's now even with Team Falcons. Man, this squad is so good at just having one player go up against an entire team and just disrupting them entirely.
We're not even surprised to see that happening at this point, but let's see just how far the Falcons are going to look to push this one. As you can see already coming into this match, they sat on 24 points, only 2 eliminations for now, but we've hit stage 9, right? No more zone, no more closures other than the blue. That is it. This is the final push for everybody left in this lobby.
That is right. This zone is going to dwindle down into nothing, and you can see it starting to close. Here they go. It is Zebra Master. They do have the most central spot, so they're able to gatekeep a little bit, but one wrong step, and you're getting knocked. This nade could be huge. Lay down nades are so deadly. He goes and he does hop up a little bit, misses the nade panic at the last second, and now he's going to have to do it with his gun skill.
I mean, talk about a oops, right? That was a oopsie right there. Not quite sure if Zebra Master is going to be able to recover from that now. It is going to be up to Smoke, also still trying to pick up a bit of ground as they push up on that southern side. Up comes the play, though. Zebra looking to clutch it. They do find a one. Top is down. Now the rest of the Falcons have to clear this compound.
Here they go. We're seeing players go down like flies, eliminated back to back. Hoorah still on the other side there, being a thorn in everyone's side. Meanwhile, Zebra Master going to go ahead and start popping down, taking out players with that DBS. Team Falcon still alive. He's trying to get those reses off, but it's not going to be able to happen as they come on down. He goes for the knocked player, gets knocked in return as the Team Falcons still survive for now. It's now to Hoorah's time to push, and they do, only to get knocked by Faction Brazil.
Ooh. Falcons not out of it just yet, right? Still stepping up to the plate, but now it is down to a 1v1v1. Hoorah! Getting ended. Icy moving up. Cool. Calm, and down they go.
What a finish! I thought Icy got to that car. I really thought he got there safely, but just gets shot at the last second, and a huge chicken dinner. You can see the relief on Faction Brazil's faces. These guys are pumped, and this was a must-need win for them. You can see that, a little fist pump right there, and that exhale. That just lets you know what these guys are feeling.
I mean, what a bounce back though, coming in through Faction here, right? They got a 1 elim in game number 1. Now they end themselves in the spot number 1. What a bounce back. But what an insane play. I mean, down to a 3v3 to have the chicken decide a 1v1v1. Insane.
Oh my gosh, you saw him just go. That's just so like, yes, and then oh my gosh, that was tough, you know. And that's what these players are feeling, but it's still so crazy to consider that, you know, we saw Team Falcons in that top 2 once again. It's just absolutely ridiculous as we go ahead and take a look at the highlights from this first Aaron Gale match number 2, and there's only 4 more left to go. Oh, there was actually a knife finish. Wow.
That was in the beginning, yeah, right at the get-go. I mean, you got no weapons, right? You got to make a plan. But yeah, I think this was a very, very exciting play that we had right here up in towards the edge of Razak. I mean, upset upon upset upon upset going through here.
Absolutely. You know, we saw iFies do a great job of just making things happen. Beautifully played here. Perfect timing, right? To get that knock from the side and instantly run out. Monkey with that 1v pretty much 3 in that scenario. It was a double, but then Vitali cleaning him up with that DB right at the end. It's beautifully done. That DP so powerful. Meanwhile, Team Falcons, we saw them just pushing forward. It's so hard to take this team out completely.
Yeah. I mean, it requires a lot of blue zone damage near the end. Gotta say though, Smoke Gaming also really stepping it up this match, right? We did see that super aggressive play that they made over on towards Moneymakers. A little bit of run me over action also then coming through here, as we did see the Royals of War having their hand in a little bit of an upset.
Yeah, I did think Rose War played that pretty well as in that position. You know, they were pushing it out, getting into some fights, getting some nice eliminations. This was an interesting one for me. You know, Gizmo, they decided to go for this 3-1 split, and I think sometimes that can be a tough position because it's so difficult for one player to hold that spot, especially when you have vehicles you know that are going to push in that direction. They go for that res, lose a player, and then just got taken out bit by bit here. And then here's that end gameplay where it was just absolute madness.
Oof, and the madness didn't stop there. This was that play, right? IC coming so close. Quick pickup over on towards Malik. There we have it. I mean, if it wasn't for that extra bit of blue zone damage, I mean, things could maybe have come out slightly different. But, I mean, looking at the damage graphs, right? This was a super active match.
Oh, 100%. Look at that. Faction Brazil ending up with 1,500 damage. Hoorah! Ending up with 1,700. 8 eliminations between 3 different teams. Very, very good division, I think, amongst eliminations when it comes to you just looking at this graph and that last game in general.
Yeah, I mean, a few teams also chomping on some bubbles, as we saw there. Invictus still managing to find a little bit of damage along the way, but Hi-Fi's, again, backing in some decent elims, right? Picking up the 6 there and also amounting all the way up to 1,136 damage.
100%. I can't wait to look coming up here at the standings because I want to see where everyone is. I mean, Hi-Fi is doing a great job at trying to solidify themselves in that top 8. As we look here at that match ranking, they get some good points. I mean, it just goes to show you, right? Those early eliminations, even though they went out so early, they still ended up in that top 7.
Yeah. I mean, eliminations definitely is going to reward the teams quite a bit. Speaking about rewards, though, right? You gotta commend Faction Brazil. Phenomenal play here. Absolutely. 8 eliminations, 18 points in total. And that's going to add on to, you know, the points they got back in match number 1, which was 1. So 19 points going their way in total.
Yeah, very, very well done. They put themselves in a great position. The zone just started going towards their way, and they were able to finish it out. I was a little scared for them towards the end. I think if IC did make it to that car, it could have gotten really interesting. So really heads up play for Faction Brazil to finish it out before it even got to that.
Yeah, and of course, as we look a little bit further down the board here as well, Invictus, unfortunately, going to go back with a bag full of donuts, not finding anything this match, but we still have 2 more, 2 more matches to go for them to try and potentially maybe make up a bit of ground here.
That's right. 2 more Erangels, 2 more Miramars coming up. So that's only 4 more matches, and we're going to see where everybody lines up here at the end of this. It's going to be huge. And you know, we do see some good points there early on, but I'll tell you what, Zebra Master actually ends up with the MVP spot. All right, Domino beautifully executed there. He had 3 eliminations, just overall, just great stats across the board.
Yeah. I mean, you got to say, though, I think what helped quite a bit here for Zebra Master was that position that they were holding right just here. I mean, such an angle to work off of.
Yeah, as you can see, some of his clips here, his highlights, using those nades to his advantage. He was playing that outer edge of that circle, just disrupting that fight. Oh, that nice little jumping 180. Yeah, I remember this. We saw the edge of that during the game. He just did a great job of just soaking up all of those points. And you can see here again, you know, the last matches of the day and of this qualifier finals coming up. It's always tough when it's only one day, right? Because, you know, if you're just having a little bit of an off game, you're done. You go home and you got to wait for the next event, you know? So hopefully we see some teams able to rally their squads. You know, that's what a leader is being all about, is when you have a first couple of rough games, how do you bounce back? And honestly, now's the time or never.
Yeah, because I think especially once we hit match number 4, whatever they haven't been able to achieve at that point is just going to become even more difficult to do, you know, leading into the final bit of the day.
As we take a look at the overall standings, and you can see right there, right? Hi-Fi is able to get into second place with 23 points. Team Falcons with 36 is huge, considering that's only been 2 matches. They're now in that position to where all they got to do is play consistent for the rest of the day, and they're walking away with first place. So if you're any of these teams, literally any of these squads, you have to shut them down this next game, I think.
Yeah.
Because if they have another good game here, they're going to run away with this thing, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, one of the teams that I think has great potential could maybe even be Faction Brazil, right? We just saw them jump 10 slots all the way up in towards that 4th place. So there's a lot of potential cooking on the horizon here, and I'm curious to see exactly how the teams are going to be approaching these final 2 Erangales.
Yeah, it's going to be really huge here. You know, you cannot afford any slip-ups, any mistakes, because any little thing and it's all over. So again, for anybody that's just tuning in for the first time, it's first place. First place gets an automatic ticket to the finals here of the PUBG Mobile Global Open. So if you just look and you see how well Team Falcons are doing, they are already looking like a lock for that ticket. And I think if you're being realistic, knowing how well they're playing, you got to shut them down here and now. So I want to see something different from these squads coming up.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot to look forward to. But of course, we are going to be hopping into a very quick break as well. So be sure to stay tuned. And we'll see you back in a short few moments.
Welcome back, everybody, to the PUBG Mobile Globe in Brazil. We're at match number 3, and we're headed into Erangel. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Team Falcons are on top, looking to go ahead and head into the finals. And I will not lie, that is where they belong. Okay, this is a team that definitely I want to see in the finals. You know, one thing else that I really love seeing is I like to see teams that have the ability to adapt mid-tournament, you know? I think that's something that we've been lacking in PUBG Mobile Esports. We haven't seen it in a long time, right? We see teams just like no matter what happens, they just continue to do the same. And it frustrates me because I want to see a team that's like, let's say that you're a team in the last game of the day, right? Last game of the tournament, you need 20 eliminations and you need a team to go out first, okay? If I'm them, I'm like, hey, we gotta either hot drop the squad or find them early and take them out. And then we need to just push everybody, right? Because that's the only chance you have. You can't just sit back and do the same thing, you know? So I want to see teams start making those adjustments. And honestly, if you're being real and you want that main event ticket, you're going to have to look at the Falcons and be like, hey, you guys, we have to slow them down eventually.
Yeah, I think getting that direct ticket, ooh, nice zone. Beautiful melee base.
Wow.
Love it. But what I'm saying is getting that direct invite into the main event itself, right? It's going to be earned. It's not something that's just going to happen all by itself, right? You really got to get down to it if you want to be the team to be awarded that position.
100%, dude. And honestly, a big opportunity right now is going to be on the side of Death Wolves, right? They're going to be down in that military island all by themselves. So they're going to be looted up to the teeth, to their fangs, and going to be waiting for teams to creep on up towards them. So calm before the storm, nothing really too crazy. We do see Team Falcons, right, due to the playing path, dropping in a different location. So I do like this from them, right? Because if they realize what's at stake here, which they do, they're so smart the way they play, you know, they're going to mix things up on these teams. They don't want nobody surprising them, trying to take them out early. So I like the fact that they're mixing up their drop spots.
I think it's safe to say that the Falcons are definitely not going to wing it, right?
Oh, yeah. They're not leaving anything up to chance. That's for sure. But,
well, in the
that's
meanwhile,
what it takes, right? Especially to be a second-place team in the global championships.
I mean, speaking of that, that was pretty intense to watch, though, right? I mean, sitting there in the audience, watching these teams just go at it, it's insane. So I can just imagine, you know, all that expertise now coming onto the battlefield here yet again. Speaking about expertise, we've got a lot of exploration also now happening. A lot of teams already starting with a rather early rotation down to that far southern side of the map.
Oh, yeah, that's what you got to do, especially when you see a good old Sosnovka circle. You got to get looted up very quickly, and you want to get to that island as fast as humanly possible. And you're going to see Rook start heading in that position, but I believe that is going to be Zebra Masters already going to hold down that bridge. So instead, it looks like they're going to try to take this edge of Milta, creep up little. Oh, actually, they're not looted at all. So they didn't loot up. They just said straight up, we're gonna head towards Milta, loot up there, and then try to head to Sosnovka right after.
I mean, that's a brave decision to make, especially looking at what we can see from the map, right? There's 3 teams now looking to converge down onto that Milta position, so it is gonna be pretty hot and sweaty. It's not gonna be whatsoever hot and sweaty over in towards middle base, at least not for the time being, as we did see the players there. From the Death Wolves, right? Having the full base to themselves, they can go about, get themselves looted up. It's over on this bridge where the heat is going to get dialed up.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of heat, look at that. Be bold, being very bold on the early rotation. These guys are also completely naked. They don't have any, you know, no loot at all, no vest, no helmet. They headed straight towards Novo, and they're going to be the first ones here. So, I mean, heck, fortune does favor the bold. So they're going to be there nice and early, going to get nice and looted up and ready for the rest of the match.
Yeah. And see, I think like the whole saying of, you know, fortune favors the bold, I think I took that one a little bit too literally. But, you know, looking at B-Bold out on the battlefield, they looking pretty good. I mean, this is a good startup, especially with the zone being so far towards the southern side. But I'm curious as to whether or not they're going to have some company maybe coming in a little while.
Totally possible. So they got to get looted up pretty quickly here. They're staying early on, maybe to try and catch somebody on that rotation just in case. It didn't go like all the way to the outer edge of Novo and start looting backwards. They stayed right up towards the front, maybe to try to prepare for that situation because they know teams are going to try to get there as early as possible. So really interesting to see. We are starting to see that. I believe that's Hoorah on the move. You know, Rook just trying to get a couple headshots. Oh, gets a nice little hit marker there. He said, I'll take that one to the bank. But they are going to be holding the edge of this bridge. And honestly, the longer they do, the more dire and more desperate it's going to get.
I gotta say, though, the best sound in this game is that ding that you get.
Ding. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost as good as the Falcon sound, but I would say, you know, the headshot is just like, it's magic.
Oh, especially if it comes from a suppressed M24.
Ooh,
oh.
Yeah.
Music to my ears. Music to my ears. Maybe
I
have a bolt action sniper headshot on my bingo card for today, so hopefully we'll see it. Botate though, that's one of them.
Yeah,
we'll take that. Here we go. Botate is done and dusted from Gizmo Esports. Heading on over. I believe this is from Primorsk, right? Yeah. So they're gonna be they busted down one of them boats from there, and they're gonna head down over to the island.
Ooh, but looking at the trajectory, they potentially going to be aiming for a southern positioning over on that island. So that could be quite interesting because we don't really have anybody there. We might potentially have a little bit of hoorah if they decide to rotate that far down towards the southern side. But speaking of rotations, though, Falcons, they still have a lot of work to do trying to get themselves closer in towards the southern side.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard game for them, for sure. They're going to have to fight their way in, but honestly, this is what they do best, right? They really do a great job of these outer rotations, pushing on these teams that are going to be late, because usually the teams that are late on rotations could be some of the most like nervous squads, the most hesitant ones. And if you're looking to soak up points, if you're Team Falcons, that's going to be your main target right there.
I mean, it's almost like they've engaged the janitor duty, right? They've unlocked the janitor skill, right? Clean up aisle 4, aisle 5. They're on it. They're right there picking up all the pieces they can find. And speaking about pieces, though, it's going to be a little bit of pressure now coming onto the players here from Insanity. Right? We've seen a few attempts in the first 2 matches on their end, but now they're going to have to contest against, well, the big wingers here, the Falcons knocking on their door.
I mean, these are some of the best teams. These are the best teams, right, in the region. And, you know, Insanity, they are such a great squad. They've obviously earned their position to be here. The problem is that they just went out so early in the first 2 matches. So I'm talking about hesitant squads. I mean, they have every right to have that, right? Because they're just so down on the leaderboards. They know they need a monster game. So they are in a position to gatekeep. I like the fact that they're playing it a little bit more passive. Actually, a lot more, right, than their past couple of games. They realize that, hey, we got to put points on the board here, so let's go for a bridge gatekeep and try to soak up these eliminations. Unfortunately, it's most likely going to be against Team Falcons and Royals of War, so good luck to them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also looking over on towards that eastern side. That is looking pretty interesting now, but we do also then see the moneymakers making their push through up towards Pachinki. There's going to be a little bit of action there between the players coming through from Intense Gaming as well as Invictus. Ooh, Invictus just trying to find the sprays wherever they can. Very damaged side though on the Invictus players.
Oh, Intense Game, just looking to get those points because they know they're going to need it. Yeah, they need to get these knocks because, and you can see him trying to take them out if he can. Because they know that, it's going to be so difficult to get into this island. If you can just get some points on the board just in case, that is going to be your best case scenario. But they were able to steal 3, so that's pretty good. Let's see how they opt to play this, though, because they are very, very late to the party.
I mean, already we do see a lot of those prime positions being occupied, and even just looking at the coastline, it is going to pose quite a threat, especially for Intense now to get themselves situated. But to see how they look to play this one out. Meanwhile, we are going to be jumping down to the western edge of zone. Well, quickly. A quick taste of what's happening towards the side there of the Millie base. Oh, nice air, though.
Yeah, they got a little bit of airtime there. Meanwhile, Rook's looking to get some airtime on that roof. Looking right towards the direction of Hi-Fi. Meanwhile, here we go. Team Falcons looking to secure this bridge. Where did Insanity go? Where'd you go? They said, see ya. We are out of here. We're going to cross this bridge. The gatekeeping idea was fun, but we smelt some Falcons in the air, and we're out of here. Smart play.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's also a good spot to, looking at where they got themselves situated over on towards that island, right? So whoever makes it off this bridge is going to be running into Insane. So there is a great opportunity for Insanity now to pick it up. Speaking of pickups, yeah, the Death Wolves now losing even more players.
Oof, tough. Yeah, anytime you have, of course, a melee zone, it's going to make things interesting. Falcons are going to be... They know they're going to be going this pretty late, but it's still early in the game. They can't afford to eat a little bit of blue zone here. Now, they are going up against Faction Brazil. This was the team that won that last match. So they're in a tough spot, too, because Insanity, after that rotation, they are in a great position to gatekeep both of these teams now.
Yeah, we did see them backtrack ever so slightly back onto the bridge. Speaking about crossings, though, it's all the way down on that southern side. Gizmo now having to share the position here with Hurrah, and Moneymakers also holding all the way down to that far southern side. But then, of course, the rest of the Death Wolves also moving into the territory. So it's going to be heavily contested down on the southern side, but nothing changing, though, up towards those bridges.
Let's see, the next zone does go on up, and it goes south here. So, oh my goodness, let's see what the play is going to be. As Team Falcons eating a good chunk of blue zone. Every single time the zone closes, it hurts. I think Faction Brazil are going to go in the other direction. They're going to give up the bridge entirely and try to maybe circumvent. But, oh my gosh, Team Falcons are going to punish them for giving up like that.
Yeah, and I think also the blue is going to cause quite a bit of damage to them, so I'm not quite sure how to feel about that rotation. I mean, it's not the entire team that has moved out. We still see a few morsels of them just hanging around on the edge. Meanwhile, it's going to be the Moneymakers now having a bit of a splash, trying to cool down, relax, enjoy the drink out in the open. But Gizmo, I love that setup for Gizmo, though.
I do as well. And look at this. I mean, the timing from Team Falcons just beautifully done, because Insanity has given up on that gatekeep. They knew that that it's just better to take that position in circle. I do like their rotation, but it works out for the Falcons as they're going to have a free reign on in. Meanwhile, intense game, putting in some work in the blue zone. That's 4 eliminations for them. Gonna have to start boosting quickly, because this zone's gonna start hurting once it closes.
Yeah, and still Faction Brazil trying to alleviate a little bit of that pressure over on the bridge. We did see Top getting stopped in their tracks, but is this now the opportunity, or at least, well, what's left of Faction Brazil to get themselves back into zone? Moneymaker's now going to be feeling a lot of that heat as Icy gets hit, but Bravo! Down they go. Old boy, M24.
Bingo card, baby! Check it off the list. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it from the sniper's perspective, but I don't mind viewing it from the other end. Beautifully done there. As Gizmo I mean, so many of these teams are still in the blue zone here, trying to make the best decision. Oh boy, come on, give it to me one more time. Bro, don't you dare. Don't you, yeah, he knows better. He said, I'm not looking in that direction. Old boy is not messing around. And if I even peek my head out in the slightest, I'm about to get punished. Uh-oh. Old boy's just waiting for it. Come on. Nope, they're not. Gizmo not trying to risk it. Don't blame him.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a good play coming through from Allenson, right? Just capitalizing on a little bit of a sneaky play here. But still got to watch out. I mean, Old boy is there, is looking, is prepping, waiting for the opportunity to get that think to go. And then that could be the opening for the rest of the Moneymakers.
Oh, it'd be huge. It'd be huge. You can see Alexander trying to be able to get him maybe with a nade. Icy's looking at Insanity being, oh, just so silent. Look at that discipline. Trigger discipline big time. He realizes I don't want to give up my position. I only have 2 players. I'd rather just stay, get that intel, and move later on. Very smart. 1v1, though. DBS is out. Gonna get it done there.
Yeah. That's it, Allen, for the finish. We do also say goodbye to Faction as they get sent away. Row Gonna be following hot on their heels. But let's see whether or not Koa can relay enough information back to the rest of the crew. I see though now not gonna be laying on that trigger discipline. Instead, gonna be digging into the side of Nenebete.
Beautifully done. Hey, you know what? Soak up those points if you can. And guess what? It got stolen. Insanity gonna go ahead and take it just like that. So, yeah, you try to get that secure, you get the knock, but you gotta get that finish. Otherwise, that these other players and teams are gonna soak up those points big time. So now that their position's gone, they're gonna go for the wide wrap. Probably gonna head towards that as south as they can. And they're actually just gonna probably just creep up right here, right towards the edge and stay. I wouldn't doubt it. Never mind. I'm gonna set it a little bit further. Pretty risky.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit risky. Good play though coming through here from Sky. Ooh, all right. Does get the one confirmation right there. The rest of Smoke now going to be trying to lock it down. Meanwhile, Insanity also trying to find a bit of a foothold. Inko feeling so much hit. I mean, Gizmo, right? They're not even in zone, but they definitely trying to blaze their way forward, right? Trying to create any vulnerabilities or potential angles to push in.
Let's see what they're looking to do. Insanity just playing it very concise here. They want to get to an end game, and they're already in it. So trying to make some plays, especially they got to get those fingers warm after going out early twice. Meanwhile, Smoke Gaming, they had a very interesting rotation. They just went straight down from the north side and just swam right across and were able to make it into this island nice and early. So sometimes that swim strategy does work. They did lose one in the process, but with 3 up, pretty good central and military, you can't blame them one bit.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to pay the toll, right? It's
right.
part of the cost of living. But in the meanwhile, Hi-Fi's going to be looking to just connect on through here with Smoke. So you can see Myth moving up, quick response. Oh, even with a suppressor, they get found out and picked off.
Instantly. I mean, at this level, it's like you can only take a couple shots from the same position and you got to move. Otherwise, you're just going to get absolutely beamed from another spot. And look at that trigger discipline, right? Bro, just chilling, waiting, say, nope, I want this confirmed. He's going to go for the reload here. Is he going to get the finish? Blue zone's coming. He's going to run.
Oh,
Bingo. Wow. Said, I'll take that one.
But that's the second time we see Vitali doing that, right? Previous match, exactly the same thing happened up in Rozhok. Beautiful cleanup going through here from Vitali as they do capitalize on even more of the upsets. But now it is up to Hura, right? As you can see, slowly trying to get themselves in, but even Gizmo applying pressure from the backside.
Vitali's so smart, just soaking up those steals. I mean, those are crucial points right there. He realizes it, especially with having only 2 players up. Stealing all those points are going to be huge. Next zone does go on over towards Insanity, so this is their chance, right? They're in that playing graveyard right there, very centered up. They just got to be able to get that gun skill and keep teams away from them. Meanwhile, Bro trying to make it happen. Doing a little peekaboo game here, gets the shots. Actually, yeah, no, that was Bro. Gets the knock on Vitali. That's what you get for stealing my eliminations, buddy. Can he take out 7 though? That's gonna be the question.
Ooh, you gotta watch out for Higgard as well, just chilling on the edge. I mean, at least for Bro, it's not the last hurrah. They were able to send them backing, but the Inko, they have a little bit of backup, so let's see. Can Bro find the play?
He's looking for the toes.
Come on, get it. No, gets Bark instead.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to go for some tires, maybe trying to take out that vehicle. I don't think it's blown up just yet. Oh, I think it's on fire. He's gonna have to run on the open and make a play here. He's going for it. Oh, we lost his perspective. We're gonna watch Rook heal up for a second. But here we go. Now we're gonna see Bro pushing on up. Oh, at 7 said, nah, let me just shut that down real quick.
Easy claps, right? Easy claps. But now Inkar, right? This is where the hard work comes, because now they got to get their butts back into that zone. Yes, there is a big gaping hole onto that southeastern side of the zone, but we've got so many teams held up in the vicinity that I don't think it's going to be a very easy point to enter on.
Oh, not easy at all. You know, I mean, you know what? Insanity does have it easy. They have so much real estate here, so much vision. All they got to do is really just play it correctly, hit their shots. But they do have to worry about that backside. Intense game could definitely disrupt them, and that's why you could see them kind of splitting their resources a little bit. But they can't split themselves too far. They got to be prepared for a push because they know it is coming. And you can see Death Wolves and the rest of these squads are just looking for that little bit of an opening to take it away from them. Vitaly running out in the open. Uh-oh, he's putting on his dancing shoes. Nice return shots. That forces Rado to go down, but you know what? Oh, the Death Wolves saw him as soon as he gave up his position and said, give me that point. I'll take it.
Yeah, gonna end it right then and there. Now, Zebra Master also gonna come knocking on the door. It's gonna be CeeLo about to feel the heat, the spray, and down it is. Quick reactions, though. Love that spray. Smoke, though, also getting sent away. Ruch. Gonna see if they can maybe get into a little bit of the opportunity. Yeah, Ruch.
I mean, that's the sound I make after I miss a shot, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the sound they're making in the position that they're in right now, because it's not too solid. Yeah, they're holding it down. They're just hoping that zone stays where they're at, because it's nothing but open field surrounding them. Meanwhile, you can see Hi-Fi just trying to get those single taps. Insanity doing a great job. This is what they need to be doing, right? It's just applying that pressure, because it's really only just him looking at the south side. So Silence has a very big job on his shoulders.
Yeah, it could be golden for Silence at this point, so we got to see whether or not they can line that one up. Meanwhile, Ruch still now having to do quite a bit of work. I like the fact that we've got those Death Wolves also starting to make a bit of a play as they take a run for the southern side of zone. But now, Insanity rather, could be looking to make it quite challenging for the remainder of Rook now to get themselves in zone.
Oh, let's see what happens here, because right now this zone does favor Be Bold. Be Bold, very, very fortunate to be in the position that they're in now. And yeah, you can just see them turtling it up, ready to take some shots downfield as the rest of these teams are starting to make that push. This is zone number 6. You don't want to get caught in this blue zone at all. And Death Wolves, going to make a very bold rotation. Possibly even going for that res. Very risky.
Well, I mean, moving into these next few phases, you definitely could benefit from having more numbers, right? You could go for a duo play, but it is going to be ever so much more challenging. Meanwhile, Be Bold trying to see if they can reach in and get that pickup, but Hi-Fi is also now going to try and assert their position up towards the north as the Zebra team makes the play. Up they come. Let's see whether or not the Zebra Masters can find that play to swoop the Hi-Fis under the rug.
Oh, under the rug, under the wing, and you can see them try their best effort, but it's not going to end up where... Actually, no, this is a different team. So this is Zebra Master there in that position. Hi-Fi's holding it down at that edge, looking to press on to Zebra Masters as Monkey... They're barely in this circle right now, so they're trying to get as much information as they can to try to get some of these knocks. It's all about timing. If they can catch a very good, fortunate third party, they're still in this.
Yeah, they definitely would still be in this. And I think this is a really good play coming through here from Be Bold. Right, so far, this is the best positional play, right, that we've actually seen in just these past 2 matches. So things looking pretty positive here. Let's see whether or not Be Bold can be bold enough to claim this territory.
Yeah, you know what, DK, though? You know who it's really fortunate for? Hi-Fi's. The reason why is because they're so high on the leaderboards. Team Falcons went out with only 1 elimination. So this is their chance. They realize it. They only have 2 players up, but the pressure's on. They can't afford to go out. They need to close that gap if they want that first place finish and even be in the running against this monster squad that is Team Falcons. They open the door. It's up to them to walk through it. It's going to be hard, though. They're not in the best position, and they are being gatekept by Zebra Masters. You can see them in that buggy trying to figure out what to do in this position. They got to play it very carefully.
But, I mean, even for Zebra Masters, this is a good play, right? They just trailing by 2 points behind the Hi-Fi. So this is essentially the fight to see who will be allowed to try and chase the Falcons. So there's so much riding on that play. But again, we are prepping for that zone to shift. Is it going to favor any one team in particular? If it goes south, it doesn't. But this is now the play, right? Insane, they need to move up here.
Ugh. This next zone's going to be brutal. If it goes even just a smidge more south, it's going to be literally white out in the open. So I think a lot of these teams realize that. You can see Be Bold running out in the open. He decides to take those shots, trying to steal some eliminations, runs out of bullets out of that DP, switches guns, and we can just see him trying to put in some work here as Be Bold are applying that pressure to the Death Wolves. One more shot and gets him, and that's Death Wolves gone. Top 4 remaining.
Pretty dang crazy. But now, right, if you thought it was crazy, it is going to get even more insane moving forward. We've got 4 squads. Only one of them still has everyone in play, right? That is going to be Insanity holding up on towards that northwestern side, but they're still going to kind of rub their shoulders up against Zebra Master, High Fives, and then, of course, Be Bold holding steady on that southern edge.
Yeah, it was still anyone's game, right, to get that first place. But they needed to have a good game here and now. And those teams in that bottom score need to have a monster game. And Insanity is that team. They only have 4 eliminations. They need to win this game and eliminate everybody if they want to stay in the game here. But, you know, you got teams like Zebra Master and Hi-Fi so up high on the leaderboard. They want to get that first place position here and now. Now let's see what happens as Insanity are playing this very, very carefully. Maybe a little bit too careful. It's gonna be hard though. Silence throwing that nade through the, oh my gosh, he threaded that needle through the gate. And that worked out perfectly. Beautifully done there from Silence.
That was beautiful play. But now, I mean, we're down to 3 teams, right? 3 players on average on either end. So let's see. Ooh, that nade's getting close. Oh, finds a little bit of damage. A little bit, but not enough.
Let's see what happens. Oh no, Monkey going down to blue zone. I think they realize it. Yeah, nothing they can do. Papa Blue coming in the works. Take it down, High Five. So now here we go. It's Be Bold versus Insanity. Insanity going out so early in their first 2 matches. I was telling you how they needed to play it slower, right? They needed to put some points on the board, and this is how you do it right here. And especially to get that rotation nice and early, secure this position onto military base. Very, very good game for them. They don't have the circle, though, so it's not over yet. Be Bold have 3 players. Might as well call it 4 because Papa Blue's on their side.
I mean, what a step up, though, for both these teams, right? As you said, Insanity not having the best run of the first 2. Be Bold, I mean, they made it up into top 10 for both of the previous matches, but this time they've made it all the way up into the top 2. So let's see, can they be bold enough to claim that winner chicken dinner? The position looking super favorable, but now it's going to be go time as the Insanity starts to roll on up.
Oh, what a knock there from Silence. That was so huge. Now they have a 2v1, but they lose it. Be Bold. Oh, what a play right there. Lorenzen clutching it up. Gonna get another knock right here, most likely. Yes, sir, he does. He said, you know what? Don't even worry, man. You guys are insane. I'm insane myself. I'll take down this whole squad.
Oh. The confidence just looking so good. Let's see whether or not Insanity can pack the talent they need to try and clutch this winner chicken dinner. But if I'm being honest, right, it looks like Be Bold has got this one in the bag. So much so that they are down to 1 opponent left and standing between them and that chicken dinner.
Let's put it this way. They have it so well in the bag, I put my whole house on it. Here comes an absolute red zone. And he said, you know what? I'm not going towards that red zone. I'm going to stay in the blue zone here. Take the chicken dinner. We'll take that 2nd place. But man, Be Bold clutching it up right there at the end. You can see him put his head on his arms because that was a stressful one.
I mean, that was intense. Yep, you gotta get it done. You gotta get it done. But what a performance. 7 elims and 1,817 damage being packed in here. Absolutely phenomenal comeback here from the Be Bold squad. And I mean, wow, game number 3, what a way to wrap it up.
It was huge. It was a huge one, right? We saw Team Falcons go out early. They tried that really, really late rotation into the island, and it didn't work out there. So let's take a look here. Man, it's so crazy. It's so crazy to see how these leaderboards are going to shake up at the end of the day, because it was a perfect case scenario, right? You have Team Falcons dominate the first two. They go out early here. The second and third place teams put up some good points, and teams at the bottom, right, clutched it up right there at the end.
I mean, it's going to be a pretty tight competition all the way through. And I mean, I think it's the beauty of these battle royales, right? You never know who's going to be the next team to step up. I mean, we spoke about this off camera, right? You might be the best team in the world, but if you don't have that zonal positioning, there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah. And that just happens, right? The way that I say that in order to make a championship game is when you don't get that zone, you got to put up some points, right? You got to have some consistent ones. But when you do get that favorable position, you not just have to win the game, right? You have to win the game and get a ton of eliminations in the process. As we take a look here at the highlights from that last one. And the thing is that we saw the Falcons, every time they got a good position, they won with double-digit eliminations, right? Now, we didn't really see that here in this next one, right? We saw the teams that ended up getting those top placements, not getting those double digits, but they put some big points on the board that they desperately needed, so you can't take that away from them.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree with you. It was about time that we see a little bit of a shift in that dynamic come through, but I think a lot of the pressure for this phase and for this map in particular was all the challenges that we saw erupting over on those bridges, right? Both the east and the western bridges.
100%. So, we'll see that. One play in particular was that one we just saw a little bit earlier, right? What did you think about that rotation from Faction Brazil?
I mean, talk about an upset, right? Definitely trying to sneak their way on through. It was quite aggressive over on towards Intense, but, Intense, they were there ready to just lock it down and keep anybody from gaining ground on them.
Yeah, I think that they realized that it was Team Falcons on the other side of that bridge, and they said, you know what, we don't even want to take this fight. Let's see if we can sneak away, and they got punished for it. I think sometimes you just have to commit to that fight, especially after having such a solid game that they did in that last one. But you know what, things do happen, and we talked about it earlier, right? Fortune favors the bold as they end up winning match number 3 here. Be bold, getting that very favorable position, and they executed on it well.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fault them for that. It was a phenomenal play, but also got to give credit up to Insanity, right? Just holding so much ground here, moving into the end, but as we saw, Lorenzen, it was just a quick, swift move, stepping up, picking up 3 of the players here from Insanity.
Yeah, you know what I say? DBS OP. You know what I'm saying? DBS so strong. I think I heard that it got nerfed, but I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? It's still putting in so much work, because we look at the top 5 players, and of course it's gotta be Lorenzen. Look at that there. 4 eliminations, 3 knocks, 800 damage, 2 of those in that little 2v1 that we saw earlier. And that was the one to win the game, because honestly, if he goes down there, I think we would have seen Insanity take it.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's tough to beat a nade barrage getting sent in your direction, but if they were able to survive it, things maybe could have changed out, right, moving forward. But also good representation coming through here from the Hi-Fis, right? Because SnowX, Monkey, both picking up a decent amount of elim, some decent damage also then to follow suit.
100%. So we saw a good, solid amount of points coming from Hi-Fis. That's going to definitely make the leaderboards probably shake up a little bit. I'm interested to see where that ends up. Hopefully we'll see that here soon. But I mean, a great performance here in match number 3. We only have a few more matches left to go here, DK. It's 1 more Aaron Gale and 2 more Miramar. So I think teams, it's crunch time right here, right now. If you're in that bottom 8, what do you think they should do on this one, right? You think they should just... should they go in hard here, try to play the same? Because, players like Lorenzen are making it happen here in clutch time.
I mean, if you're in the bottom 8 and, you're going to try and play it the same as you have, obviously it's not been working too favorably. So I definitely would go for a bit of a change up, right? Shift into a different gear, right? Try a stat that you might not have considered in the previous 2 matches.
The hard part is that this is only 1 day, and not to mention they didn't really have time to adapt to the lobby, right? Because You have the first Erangel match was a very normal one, but the second one was a wild card, right? You have a military island finish, which really makes things tough. So in match number 3, if you're in that bottom side, I think you got to play it so carefully. You got to put some points on the board here no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about putting points on the board no matter what, right? It's no surprise that Lorenzen is going to be our MVP for this game, right? Just played such a phenomenal position